go. All right, give it a second. Let's see. Okay. All right. Give it a second here. We'll start in 1 minute. All right. Let's see here. Where we at? Okay. All right. Let's get it started here. All right. Welcome to the live session, April 16th. Get going here. So, what's going on with the market? What is going on with the market? So, let's go back here to the month, and let's just clear all this out. Okay. So here we are in a bigger space, right? We had that big drop. We had that pop up. And we dropped a little right here at that monthly 20 SMA. Okay. So we did tag almost. We almost tagged this high right here, but we didn't. We got right above there. Okay. So that tells me, okay, so maybe we hold and we keep going. Very possible. Very possible. Right? Very possible that we hold and keep going. But here's the thing is this week we were supposed to here, let me clear that. Last week we had a reversal. Okay, we were looking good. Now I said this week that we need a clear above this high of 55.2875 in order to confirm that reversal. And so far, we're not doing it. Okay, and we only have 1 day left. Tomorrow's our last day, and it's not doing it. Instead, we gapped up and we're coming back down. So, and we got a squeeze firing down. We're still in the downtrend. We're not looking like we're going to clear that 55.2875. It's more looking like we're going to either sell back down to this 100 SMA, 51.96, or we maybe attempt to hit that or above it tomorrow, but that's going to be a very big day if that happens. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So, more likely is we come back and sell back down to this here 100 SMA. And if it's a really bad day, we sell off all the way back down to 5,000. Okay. But, you know, that's what the whole take on with the reversal last week. You know, we needed to get the confirmation this week. We didn't get that. We're not getting that confirmation so far. You know, we're gonna see exactly where this area is 55.38. We look on that on the daily. You know, that's a pretty big day to get there tomorrow. You know, we would have to clear all that today, which wasn't that much. We didn't have that much of a big day, but we got to get back over here to this 55.2875. Okay, and that's passing the 20 SMA, which we haven't even touched it recently here. We touched it back here and we rejected it. So this is saying a lot to clear that 55.2875. It's saying a lot to do that because we have to get a big day. We got to clear that 20 SMA, and then we have to close higher than 55.30. Okay, so from that aspect, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Okay, so it's not looking good on pushing that way. So what's the alternative, right? So the alternative is, where are we in the market here? Where are we at? Well, looking at this here, we topped off right here, 61.6650. Okay. 61.6650. Okay. Okay, we had a nice rally down. Okay, we had a nice little pop up here. We have another big rally down. We have another pop up here. Okay. So essentially, if we could get one last drop, whether that's the drop down to these lows, okay, a drop down to these lows or even a little lower, I think that would be it. Okay, either drop down to these lows and we triple bottom, or we lose these lows, go a little lower. You know, it's a hard one because this high here at 48.08, you know, we don't want to break that high. And we already got as low as 48.32. So, you know, we could go hit that 48.32 again, or get a little lower at 48.20, maybe 48.10, but we don't want to break that 48.08. That's a big thing right there that we don't want to break. Okay, and this here 50 SMA is at 46.76. Okay, our weekly here 4,700. Okay, so you know, we hit that, we're definitely breaking that 48.08. So that 48.08 we don't want to break. Okay, that's going to be bad news. So can we go lower? Yes. But how much lower can we go? I say we go either back down to these lows, or we go slightly lower, maybe 48.20, okay? Because if we break that 48.08, then we're going to go down a little bit more than we want to. We're going to go all the way down to, if we break 48.08, We have the capacity to go to 46, 43, 44.04. Okay, on ES. Now, that would be on the 4 hour here. On the 4 hour chart here. Now, starting from here, we would have essentially that would be our fifth wave down. If we just drop one more time, make a new low, say 48.10, 48.15, 48.20, whatever that is, make that new low. That would be our fifth wave, and then we could bottom there and turn around. If we lose 48.08, that fifth wave is going to go down to 46, 4,600, maybe 44. Okay, so that's the idea of what's going to happen if we drop down, right? So we're saying that on the weekly chart, we're not getting the confirmation of the reversal. Okay, so we're still holding a bear flag. Okay, but on the other hand, we are still holding this bull flag here, and here's the support right at that 52, 57. That's where our support is for that bull flag. So the bull flag is still there. Okay, but the confirmation on the weekly, it's looking like it's not going to happen because tomorrow's the last day. If we were closer, if we were at 40 or 54.85, I would say, there's a big possibility that we clear that 55.40. Okay, 55.30, 55.40. But since we're all the way down here to 53, we're gonna need 30 to 40 point move, to clear, and it's gonna have to be a strong move to clear this 20 SMA. So even though it's possible, it's not likely. But again, this market is wild. This market can definitely get you tricked. So it could possibly happen. It could definitely possibly happen that it goes tomorrow and clears that 55.30. Okay, but as of right now, we lose 52.57. We're gonna be coming down to 51.75 and then 5100. Okay, if we hold and above and we clear that 53.33, we're gonna have to push 110, 120 points, 110 to 120 points. Okay, that's a big day. All right, so we don't know exactly how that's going to look tomorrow because we had low volume all week, and we had a little bit higher volume today. It's a little bit higher, not that much higher, but a little bit higher, and it was a sell-off day. Okay, so if we magically have a huge day, huge volume tomorrow with some buys for 130 points, that could maybe get our confirmation of the reversal. But as of right now, it's not looking like it. So if we get high volume to the downside, we're going to go to 5100. Okay, that's going to be a 200 point drop. Okay, and that's only if we lose 5250. Okay, that 5250 is a key level, and then that 5225 is a key level. Okay, losing those two, you're going to be going down to that 5100. Okay, now what does that look for SPY? What does that look for SPY? So SPY, okay, SPY, we see this downtrend. We see that it's inside this downtrend. Again, we got close to the 20, but we never touched it. Okay, we fell off. We fell at 535. We got below that. Okay, and here we held that 523 daily support of this bull flag, but we lost that 535, which was that monthly support. Okay, this is a big thing right here. Today we made an indecision candle. Indecision candle tells you that the market is pretty much in a it's in a stuck position where the buyers and the sellers are in a standstill. So even though there's not a lot of volume, um, there's still no direction. Okay, the direction is telling you tomorrow you'll get the direction. But again, in order for SPY to be bullish or confirm the bullishness of the reversal last week, we need to clear above 548.62. Okay, so 548.62 is pretty high, right? So we're gonna have to have a huge day to clear that 548.52. Okay, so in order to get to 549, we're gonna have to have big volume and a big push. Not sure if that's gonna be news or whatever if that happens, but that's what we need to do to clear that weekly reversal. As of right now, that weekly reversal is not anywhere near being cleared right now. Okay, we can see that. We can see that we're in the downtrend. We had that nice reversal here last week with good volume. And this week we have low volume, no movement really. Now, okay, here's the third option that could happen. Now, the third option that could happen is we don't do nothing this week. And the market drops and it sells off some, right? It drops, sells off. Say it ends right here at 5:15. Okay, it ends at 5:15 tomorrow. Okay, that's where we're at, 5:15. And then on next week, Monday, we gap down to say 5:12, 5:14, 5:13, whatever it is. We gap down, okay? And then we rally up that whole week. If that happens, then this week is just a flaw week, and it's a trick week to get you real short, and then next week it rips up, and then it eats this week's candle with the bullish engulfing, and it confirms the reversal from last week in next week. Okay, that is a third possibility that could happen, and it might happen. It might happen. So we could sell off this week and do nothing, and then next week we gap down, and then it rallies up hard, and we end at 560. Let's just say 560. That's gonna be a big week. Okay, that could definitely happen. All right, I'm not saying it can't, but I'm saying this week it's not looking like it's gonna happen. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen next week. It's gonna happen next week if we do get that reversal. Okay, so far right now, puts what's what's making the market. We had this huge day, okay, and then we had two other nice days, and then here, it's just kind of floating off, and the indecision candle here is stuck right there, right in the middle of these two. So unless we're below 520 or above 539 or 538, we're not going to get the direction we want tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to have to make a move either below 520 or above 539. And from where it is right now, I'm thinking below 520 is the easier route it could go. Because below 520, you go 515. Okay, if you get anywhere near 515, that'd be great. But it's probably gonna close a little bit higher. Then you gap down to 515 on Monday. Then from there, it rallies up, bullish engulfing, reversal, goes to 560. It goes to 5, or not even. It doesn't even have to go to 560. It could go to 554. and you still get the reversal pattern. Okay. So that's all that's what all could happen in the next week. And this in the tomorrow into Monday. That's what could happen. Okay, so we either sell off and we keep selling off to the bottom of 490 or 480, right? Or go a little lower. How low can we go before hitting that? Okay, this high is 479, 480. So 480. Okay, and this was 481. So we could go to 481, 481, or basically 481. We go to 481. That's the lowest we could go before we hit that other 480 level that we don't want to hit. So if we sell off, we get to 515, which is not that far away. 515 is right here. It's not that far away. Okay, you sell off there to 515 or whatnot, or even you sell off more. Okay, and then you come and end at 515 or 520. All right. Monday you probably gap down to 515, and then it rallies up hard, if that's what it's gonna do. Now, if we close below 515 tomorrow, that's gonna be real bad, because if we close below 515, that means we're going down. We're not holding that 100 SMA. It's not going to gap up on that 100 SMA because it's not gonna bullish engulf. So it's a good idea. Hold on, let me grab that. It's a good idea to have puts right now, because going up, we have a long way to go, right? We have to go over 549. Okay, that's a huge day. Going down, we only got to go to 515, which is not that far. 520, 515, not that far. Okay. Now let's go into lower time frame, see what exactly is cooking here. Okay, so this area, 517. Okay. We already see we got a downtrend. RSI below 50. Squeeze firing down. Okay. Here we have just a sideways channel. Okay. And here's the medium. Here's the mid of the channel. So we got our sideways channel. We're in the lower end of the channel. Okay. We need above 535 to get to the above channel. We could not pass that today. It went up to 535. It went up to 535 today. Okay. It hit it right on the dot, 535.11. Hit it, failed to get over it, and then that's where we sold off from. Okay, so for it to gap up and say you go over 535 and run, it's a stretch. Could it happen? Sure, but it's a stretch. Okay. So we go into the hourly. We see, is there anything on the hourly? Okay, RSI, no bullish divergence there. Okay, no bullish divergence there. Not telling us that much. Okay. So, what is this essentially? It's a downtrend. Downtrending channel. So, we could continue on this downtrend. We'll see if that happens. So where would we go? Well, we have support right here at 510. We have support right here at 513. And we have support right here at 517. So we could go either. Like I said, I'm targeting 515. It's not that far away from that 517, this area. So we wick it down, hit that, come back up, cool. Monday, gaps down, cool. Rallies up, great. As of right now, right here, what this is telling me, consolidation, sideways. We got upper consolidation here, lower consolidation here. We're currently in the lower consolidation, rejecting the area of support and resistance right at 535. So most likely we come back down to 520 or 517 or 515, and then we could come back up. If we get that hard selling, hard selling, we're going to go down back to 500. Now, tomorrow's the last day of the week, and we've had a very, very, very slow week, with volume. So could volume come in tomorrow? Yes. Could there just be no volume tomorrow? Yes. And but considering, okay, say this is a very, very slow week, low volume. It's been kind of a low volume here, low volume there, and then big volume here. So I like the big volume there, but it's not convincing me if we don't get that confirmation. So if we do what I think we're gonna do, which is sell off to 515 and then hold it, and then on Monday sell off back to 515, and then rally. That would give me a lot more confidence that we're gonna confirm that reversal from last week and run it. But until then, we gotta play it how we are. We're not even above the 20 SMA. We haven't even touched it. So, and we know that that's resistance. So right now we just gotta look at it like that. We still had that big day, and then two more came back up, but now we're looking at weakness, consolidation. So I think we just have to wait it, and see if what this does. If it does that tomorrow, great. If it doesn't, if it just rallies up above 535 and then takes off to 548, hey, that's what it's gonna do. Okay, but I have a feeling that it's not gonna do that, unless there's some news that comes out. But considering all the rejection that it had at that 535 today, we were above 535 yesterday, and then we gapped down, and we couldn't get back above 535 at all, which is crazy because we got above it a few days ago. Okay, bounced on it, held it, and then made a lower high, and then dropped it, and then came crashing down. So all of that work, and it's just going to go back and rally and rip it up here. Not sure it's going to do that, but it's a stretch. That's a stretch. More likely it's going to come back down. Okay. More than likely it's going to come back down. Okay, and I don't know if it's going to go much less than where it has right here, because there's so much buy volume right here. So like this general area is going to be a very strong buy area for me. I think that if this comes back down here, it's going to be a great area to buy. If somehow, some way we lose this area, that's no good. We're going to go 460. 460, maybe a little bit lower. um, 460, 440. And let me see where that is on here. So 464 is at here. So yeah, if we lose that, we go to 464. And then that's where it would have to, definitely take off. Definitely have to hold there. Yeah, that 200 SMA and the 50 SMA on the monthly. So if we lose that, definitely we go there. And we need to get above this in order, and you can see that we need to get above that in order to be bullish this week. I mean, in order to be bullish next week, or we need a gap down Monday in order to be bullish next week. So one of two things need to happen. Either we rally up hard tomorrow to 548. All right. No, it has to be 549. We have to rally. We have to go past 548.60. So it has to be 549. We have to rally past 549 tomorrow in order to be bullish next week, or we have to gap down Monday in order to be bullish next week. Okay? So those are the only two ways that I'm going to be bullish. Rather rally up hard tomorrow to 549 or 549. Or we gap down Monday and hold and then take off. Cuz those two things will help us know if this is going to be confirmation. And if we don't, and we drop back down here, I would still be a long time buyer here. Even if we drop past that, we're not going to pass that too much. We'll pass 480 and we'll probably go 470, 460. And then right at that 470, 460 area is our 200 SMA and our 50 SMA. So, we're probably going to bounce on those hard and then take off. So either way, if we get back down here, you should be buying. If we get lower than that, should be buying. And then if it's lower, slightly lower, however much lower it is, I think that's going to complete that wave 5, and then it should take off. As of right now, that's what I'm looking at SPY. So tomorrow, what is the idea? What is the plan? Well, very simple. Tomorrow, you're short unless it's above 535. If we're above 535, you have a big chance of hitting 549. Okay, and even if you're not long calls now and you're above 535 tomorrow, you could still make money on some calls if it's above 535 because it has to go all the way to 549. Okay, that's still a big run. It's a big run, huge run. Now, if you're not above 535 tomorrow, then most likely you're going to come back down to 520, 515. That's my target. Okay. So that's the idea. And where do you have to go? You have to be above 535 to be bullish. Okay. And then below 520, we hit 515. Anything in between is going to be choppy. And we'll see exactly where we open. If we open exactly where we are now, say 527, 526, I feel like it's going to be choppy, and then you're going to have a really bad sell-off, or I don't think the run-up is going to be, I don't think you're going to get a run-up because you have to get all the way to 549. And if you're going to wait till the end of the day, that's a very fast and hard run-up. So what can happen? Let me see this candle. No, no, it can't. That can't even happen. So this candle, yeah, it's probably gonna end right at that 517, 515 area tomorrow. So that's what we're seeing. That's what's planned is tomorrow. Below 535, it's gonna be short. Above 535, you could get long. Um, you got the 20 SMA at 545. So if you're at 535, you want to get long. You got 10 points until that 20 SMA, and then you have another. You have 13 point or 14 points for that 549 from 535. So 10 points and 14 points. That's pretty big. Okay, now below 535, you got 525, 520, 517, 515. Okay, so right here, that's your map for it's your map for tomorrow on SPY. All right, I'll leave it like that. All right, NASDAQ. Now, what is going on with NASDAQ? Okay. NASDAQ. Okay, well, we see NASDAQ, long-term bullish channel, right? We lost the channel. We're trying to get back in it. Okay, this is a monthly. Monthly could still get back in it, right? Now we go to a weekly, though. Weekly. So the weekly, we had that reversal. And we had that reversal right on the channel. Okay? So then we needed above 19,387 to confirm it this week. Okay, so 19,387. And currently, we're right on that. We hit that 100 SMA today, and we held it. Or this week, and we held it. And we're at what? 18,400, right? And then what do we need? 19,000. So we need about 900 points. So, that's a lot of points to give tomorrow, straight up. You think you're gonna get almost 1,000 points in one day? That's a hard one. And past your 20 SMA that it's been rejecting. That's a hard one. I don't think it's gonna happen. Now, what could happen is we just come back down to that 18,000 again. And close anywhere around there. Around 18,200, 18,300, wherever it is. And let's see that monthly here. Okay, where's this high at? This high is 16,767, 767. And 16,767. The high is 16,767. And the low is 6. Wait, so this one already went lower, huh? Yeah. So this one's already lower. This one's already lower than the highs. Okay, so that's not good. We don't like to see that. We don't like to see our lows breaking our previous highs. It's not bullish at all. So that's not good. So that happened. Okay, on the NASDAQ, that happened. Okay, that's not good. We're outside the channel. That's not good. We're below the 20 SMA. Okay, so we're rejecting this, and we're rejecting the channel. So, again, the worst case scenario on the bear side, that the market sells off hard tomorrow, and we close at 17,070. Okay. So 17,070 would be right here. So, worst case scenario, we drop from where we are now, 18, and we drop all the way 17,000. So, we lose, a lot. 1,400, 1,400 points. That would be worst case scenario on the bear side. Best case scenario on the bull side, you rally up 1,000 points. Okay, exactly 1,000 points. 900 to 1,000 points. That's a lot. It's a lot falling and it's a lot going up. So either the best of the worst case scenarios are 1,000 points. Either way, okay. Do I think that's gonna happen? I don't think so. Unless it's like a bloody. I mean, right before Good Friday, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be more choppy, more like a little sell off and then come back in. I don't think we're gonna have a huge, massive day. I think the massive move is going to be safe for next week. Next week is the massive move. Okay, so go to the hourly here. We go to the 4 hour actually. Okay. All right, there's our box. Here's our downtrend. Okay, most likely we come down here tomorrow, 17,900, and then we come back up, and we probably close around the same area that we are now. So I'm not expecting too much, except that we stay in this box. Okay, because if we do go up, we got to go past, 19,000. 19,400. So again, 1,000 points from where we are now. If we go down, we only got a little bit to go down, and then we could bounce back up, and then end it, and then Monday comes, and then if we gap down, we know we're gonna rally up. If we don't gap down, and know that we probably gonna come revisit lows. Come revisit the lows down here, 17 and 16. Okay, so tomorrow, don't expect much unless we get a huge 1,000 moves either way. So tomorrow, if we don't have a big move, I think it's down then up. And that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be down then up. It might be up then down, but I'm thinking down then up. On the Monday next week, we either gap down and have a hard rally up all week, or we open up regular and then we sell off and then revisit the lows down here, and then we hold it and then we rally up. All right, let's go into the Qs. Okay, Qs. All right, Qs. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Qs. Okay, just by looking at it, plain sight, we can see. Okay, we had that distribution here. Okay, we drop. Let's go. Okay, we drop down here, and yeah, we got lower than this high, so that's not good. Okay, here, we have to be higher than 468, and we're at 444 right now. So 468. You're looking at 23 points, 24 points, 24 points higher in one day tomorrow. Could it happen? Yeah, 6% day. It could happen, but will it? I don't know. I don't think so. So where's this? This 100 day is at 440. So I think tomorrow we go down, we come back up, or we go up and we come back down, but we end around 440, 440, 444, even where we're at now. So just looking at this, you can see that the 20 SMA is acting as a downtrending barrier. Okay. We are kind of flat here. In this general area. So, that could be something. Okay, so it's holding this previous low here. So it's holding that area there. Okay. So again, this could also be making that head and shoulders pattern we said, a while ago that, or last week, we said that it could be making. So we could say potentially form that and then drop. But if we do continue to drop down and fall down, where are we going? That 200 SMA at 383.96 would be target for we have this wave, and then we get a wave 5 down here at that 3. So we hit 398, so it's a 383 or 384 would be our 5th wave down here, and that's if we come down, and we could come down there real quick, hit that, and then take off on the Qs. That's an idea. If we do not hold, if we don't hold 428.86, and then it's bearish, and that's where we're gonna go. If we don't hold 417, that's for sure confirmation from the 428 that we're going to 385, 384. Okay. So right now, Qs is holding the daily support at 443.68. Okay, it's at 444 right now. Okay, so it's holding that. If it could hold that, great. But this thing, in order for this to be bullish on the weekly, this thing needs to get through the downtrend channel of the downtrending channel that it has, and the 20 SMA that it has, and then the monthly area of support that it's been rejecting 3 times for. So it has a a lot of work to work on the upside. The downside, not so much. We could come to these levels, and then these are where it should hold, but this is where it should definitely hold. And then if not, then this area, it needs to definitely hold, because if not, we're in big trouble. But I think the bottom is almost here. Okay, that's what I think. I think the bottom is almost here. So, and why do I think that? Well, you see this big giant channel here. Okay. Okay, see that big channel here, right? So I grab that channel again. Okay. That big channel. Okay, grab that channel here, and we see this, the bottom of that channel is going to be around 370. 370 to 380. 370, 380. Okay, 370, 380. Okay. If we drop down to the what was it? 400. The 400 areas, right? You know, we're 30 points away from the bottom, 40 points away from the bottom. You know, it's still 30, 40 points, but we're almost there. And once we hit that bottom, the market's going to rally 20, 30 points. So you're not going to be far. And if we only go to 383 or 384 or 385 and then rally, that those 20 points aren't going to matter, because we're going to hit that 383, 384, 385, whatever it is. And then once it immediately hits it, we're going to get short coverings, and it's going to pop over 400 in a second. Okay. So the bottom is coming. Okay. I think the bottom is almost here, or I mean, it could be here if we get that huge rally next week. Then the bottom's in. If not, then we're still working our way down. Okay. And I don't think the bottom is in personally, because I think that I don't think the bottom's going to be in until the Fed cuts the rate. And the Fed didn't want to do anything. And I think the Fed's not going to do anything until next month. So I think that once the Fed cuts the rate, because the markets are selling off so bad, and they're going to start say cutting the rates and then pumping money, I think that will trigger the bottom, and then that will trigger negotiations, and then that will trigger a once in a lifetime opportunity to get in the markets and make a ton of money on long-term plays, just sitting there. Have buy and hold and let it run. Say we go back to, say we hit 380s, okay? Say 400. So say we hit 400, and you know, I think it's gonna hit lower than that, because you know the Fed, we're not gonna get Fed news until it's probably below 400. So because you know it hit 400 and Fed still didn't say it was going to do anything. We get below 400 and then we're in trouble, right? Then that's recession, and then and everybody's freaking out, right? QQQ below 400, SPY below 500. SPY below, well, it already hit below 500, but below 500 and below 480, and then say 460, then you know Fed is most likely going to step in, and once that happens, it's going to be straight by the dip, nonstop by the dip. Even if all the volatility still comes in and there's talks about this and talks about that, it won't matter, because the Fed is going to be pumping. Okay, it's going to be pumping, and then it's gonna it's gonna help the market rally, and then you're gonna have all these new things with the new deals and new situations, and you know hopefully there's gonna be a new trade with China and all that, and everything's gonna be better there, and I think that's gonna be a great opportunity for us as traders and investors. So that's my whole take on all that. I don't think the bottom's in yet. Until then. So be hedged. I mean, I kind of thought maybe we had that chance when all this happened. You know, I thought maybe we had that chance because all of this volume and everything. And he said, you know, no trade war or no tariffs. Okay, so then boom, we're back to where we were, right? He says no more tariffs, right? So we're back. So we should rebounded a little harder, but we didn't. Okay, because of China stuff. Okay, well, you know, that it doesn't really make sense in my head, right? But overall, it doesn't need to. The market's going to do what the market does. It's going to react to the way that it does. Okay, it didn't confirm. It didn't even confirm this reversal right here, right? We never got a higher candle than this one here. We got close to it, and then it fell. So we didn't get a higher candle than this. We didn't even confirm that one. So in order for us to actually have a real reversal, yeah, cool, we can have a big day. But if we don't confirm it by going higher, we're still making lower lows, lower highs, right? We're still making, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower highs, lower high. And, who knows if this one's going down or not. But either way, it doesn't matter unless we confirm this. Weekly's not confirmed, daily's not confirmed. So I still think we have a chance of going down. Okay. Now I could be completely wrong and we go back up and we break that tomorrow. But as of what I'm seeing right now, I don't think we have a bottom in until the Fed cuts it. Okay. And says they're gonna when they say they're gonna cut it, and then once they come out and say we're gonna cut it because of the market situation and whatnot and everything else, to prevent a recession, prevent people from pulling out their 401ks, prevent from all this other stuff, then we're gonna have that huge rally. Then we're gonna have that bottom out. Then we're gonna have that huge spike up like this, but a nicer way and confirmation. Then we get that. Then we get this, right? Then we get that, and then we get that, right? We come here, Fed cuts, then we go up. We come here, pull back hard, Fed cuts, boom. So, we've been already doing a little nice rally, but we come back down here, boom. Because this was one. So we gave all that up in 2-3 months, right? Okay, so then we're gonna just be long term for how many ever months this is. This is months and months and months and months and months. This is a whole year, right? We come back down here, and then boom, we're gonna have the rest of the year. Okay, that's my thoughts on it. All right. Okay, that's cues for you. Okay. All right. So if we do drop, I say 400 to 85. Okay, and this should be this general area. This general area right here. From 375 to 400, this general area in the Qs should be the bottom. It should be the bottom. This is where you want to buy. You buy anywhere below 400, and you have 140 points from all-time highs. So you buy anywhere near 400 or below 400, you're 140 points from all-time highs. And I think we're going to hit all-time highs again. I do, especially if Fed cuts the rates. So, it's a no-brainer. I'd be loading up in this zone. Okay. All right. DIA. Okay, DIA fell off, came back in this area here. Okay, 20 SMA acting as a resistance area as well. Okay, we broke the high over here too, right? Yeah, we broke the high there too. That's not good. Broke the high here. That's not good. So possibly could hit that 361. Possibly. But again, anywhere here, I think is a bottom. Anywhere here is a bottom. You could get it at 370 or below to 360. I think that's a great bottom. If you got that, you say you get it at 360. You know, you're 90 points away from all-time highs. Okay. Now we are holding that 396 area. So, but again, until we clear that 20 SMA, we're in a downtrend. Until we clear that 20 SMA, we're just going down. And we're not. See, even here we made this high, and then we came and made that same high, and then we fell off. So I don't think we're there yet, guys. I don't think we're there yet. This week was supposed to be the week that was confirming it, and it's basically confirmed that we're not there yet. Okay. IWM lost that channel. Okay, now rejecting the channel. Okay, again, this one, you know, anywhere between 162 and 161, that could be an area of loading up on. Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you get it at 162, I mean, that's definitely a bottom. That is like buy all you can. If it's anywhere near 162, 165 on IWM, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Buy all you can. If you get anywhere below 170, it's buy. Because you know you're going to bounce hard on 162. You know you're going to bounce hard on 162. There's too many buyers there. Okay? So, again, anything under 172, 171, it's a buy. It's a buy all day. This one's holding here again, chopping around, but it's nowhere near its 20 SMA. So I'm still thinking down. Okay, we could go up for a little. I mean, we could always go up for a little, but I still think we have some down to go. So we might go up tomorrow, but I still feel like we should go down. All right. A lot of work. All right. The video. Okay. The video. Okay, here we go. The video was above its 20 SMA yesterday, doing fine, doing great. And then it had that gap down, and it closed right at that 104. Right at that 104.50 area. So that's daily support, and it closed right on it. So if it can't hold above there, then we're going to 97.37. If we can hold above there, most likely it goes to 109 and then maybe rejects that. But this one isn't looking too hot. It had some good volume today, and it did put in a nice little bottoming tail, but it would need a confirmation candle tomorrow in order for it to even be considered good again. So we held 104, that's good, but you need the confirmation to be solid. Okay, so what's that confirmation? You have to close above 107. So I would say you rally to 109, chop around there, close, you have a chance to go higher. If you're below 104, you got a chance to go to 97. 97.37. Okay. Now Nvidia, longer term, if we keep dropping down, Nvidia. I mean, if you could buy it at 75, I mean that's half off. Half off. From 150, 75 is half off. 178, 175, whatever you want, it's half off. If you could get Nvidia at 75, would you not? If you were talking to yourself when Nvidia was 130, because it was 130 for a long time, for months, and somebody said, "Hey, would you buy? Would you go back in time and buy Nvidia at 75, 78, $80?" You'd be like, "Hell yeah, it's up $50." Why wouldn't you? So what's the difference on the downside? Nvidia's not going out of business. If you could get it under $80, why not? Why wouldn't you? Okay. So Nvidia's holding that 20 SMA there, and that's at $97. Okay. We got to see how this week plays out, and then how Monday plays out. That's going to give you a lot more clarity on what we're doing. But so far, right now, where it's at, it's stuck right on support. Okay, above it goes to 109. Below it goes to 97. All right. Okay. Okay, PLTR. All right, I said this to you guys last week with PLTR. There's a wall right here, 98. There's been a wall like there. So it hits it, dropped. Okay, hit it yesterday, drops. Okay, it's holding 90, but let's see if it continues to hold that. It's a breakout. It needs to hold above 93. Needs to hold above 93. If it could do that, there's a possible way that you could break 98. But if the market's going to be weak, everything's going to be weak, I think this comes back down in this box. And this box just gets bigger. And you come back down to 85. And then you're going to chill at 85 for a little bit. And then if this comes back down to 70, in the 70s, I think it's a buy long term there. As this one has been holding up pretty well. But I think that, if we overall as a market drop, then we go down to 70. Then that's a buy. Long-term buy. Long-term buy. Yeah. If we could hold and close above 93.50 this week, then that could be a reversal for next week. Otherwise, it's going to 85. Okay. FXY. Okay, FXY. I did this one last week, and I said it was in a megaphone pattern. And I said 65 was a target area. I think that might be it for a little while, unless it just grinds up this area. It could do that. It's done it before. It's grinded up. So, if it does grind up, it's then you just grind up here. So I would say would say it could grind up. It's just saying grind up. But I would be cautious in this zone right here. This is the zone I would be cautious in. Be cautious in that zone because you're at the upper end of the megaphone pattern. And most likely, if you do get up here, you probably go sideways and then come back down. Yeah. I would definitely be careful in this zone right here. Careful in that zone. So you got a little bit more, just a little bit more, and then that's it. So just be cautious. You got a little bit more, and then it's gonna be done for a little bit. So you might double top. It might double top. You might get to 65. You might get to 65.88. You might get there and double top out. Maybe get a little higher 66. Maybe get a little lower 65. But I think that this general zone area is going to be the topping out area. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Tiva. So pharmaceutical. You know, I don't like it, and I don't hate it, but I don't like it. If that makes any sense, you know, it's holding an area of good support here, but it's not looking like anything special to me. You know, like that area of support is holding at 1277. Okay, RSI is under 50. Stochastics is down. Okay. I think this is a prison for a little while. So between 1277 and 1440, that's your prison for a little while until you're able to break 1460. Until you could break actually 1475. Until you could break that, this is your prison. A little bit higher right there. That's your prison. 1450 to 1277. This is your prison. Okay, and this is the mid level of your prison. 1373. So you're in a downward channel. You're going sideways. You're going to continue going sideways in this consolidation, and you're going to be between 12 and 13, and then from 13 to 14, and then you won't break out unless it's above 1475 or 15. But otherwise, you're stuck right there. All right, Bristol Myers. Let's see here. Let's just clear all this out. go here. Okay. 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 Hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. That's all I need to know there. All right. Has 45.97. Okay. All right. Bristol Myers. I think it still has a little tiny bit more to go. A little bit, tiny bit. This could be a little double bottom. Um, okay. $1's not that bad. All right. Bristol Myers. Okay, lost this consolidation. Broke down here. Now it's in this area of consolidation. I really feel like it would want to hit 48. Let me see where the RSI is at. RSI is at 26. It's pretty low. Pretty low. It's pretty low. 26. Stochastics. There's things in the reversals. 26 is low. It could go a little lower, but 26 is pretty low. Stochastics isn't reversal. DMI is wanting to reverse. It has the possibility. Especially because it's holding this level of 49, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So, it could bounce. It could bounce. Is it gonna bounce much? I don't know. I think it's waiting for something. I think you could stay in this zone right here for a little bit. I think you could stay in this zone for a little bit, maybe even get a little higher to that 200 SMA. But I think you're gonna be in this zone until earnings, 2 weeks, week and a half, in this complete zone right here. I don't think it has enough. I think it's down so much that it could bounce just from being down so much. Now, if that makes sense. So just to relieve some pressure off the RSI, I think it could have a little bounce. But is it going to be a big bounce? Not sure. Is it just going to consolidate and then release the pressure of the RSI? That's a possibility. It could go down a little bit more, but is it near an area of really good support? Yeah. 48.22, 48.40 is a good area of support. It could hold that, and it could have a big bounce from there. But is it ready right now? I'm not sure. But this general zone right here is definitely a bounce area, and this is holding here nicely. The low was 48.80, so it almost hit that 48.40. And today was 48.80 again, and it held. So that 48.80 is holding. So it's not that far away from 48.40. So again, it could definitely bounce. Okay. Could definitely bounce. Okay. DKNG. DraftKings. All right, DraftKings here. Okay. Ooh, this really shows you something. Huh. Well, got good news and bad news. Good news is you're at the lower end of the box consolidation. Bad news is you're in the box consolidation. So you're going to be choppy a lot. But you're at the bottom of the box consolidation. Okay? As long as it holds 32, you can go higher. That 20 SMA is acting as resistance. Okay? Acting as resistance. So it's acting as resistance. So, that's when you meet up with that 32 sooner or later. Our size is below 50. Stochastics are coming up though. I would be. It's hard for me to say I would be long in this market, but I'd be long this versus the 32. I'd be long this versus the 32, just because you're at the lower end of the box. Okay, and if we get past that 20 SMA, then it has a good chance of going towards that 200 SMA at 39. But you're in a big box, so you're at the lower end of the box, which is good. But yeah, versus 32, I'd be in this all day. Okay. Okay, next one. Let's my mouse. All right, Baba. Trash ass stock. Baba. Okay. Baba. I mean, I don't know if this is one you want to play with, especially being in a trade war with China and everything. Baba is already a crap stock. It's gonna even be more crappy now. Let's see. What's that? 116. 116. 127. Okay. Okay. Okay, Baba rallied up hard, then gave it all away. What's next for this stock? A whole lot of this. If it can't get past 116.50, it's staying right here. And then once it gets past that 116.50, it gap fills, and but it's not getting past 127. 127 is not getting past. If it can't get past 116.50, it stays in here and it loses 96. It's going down hard. That's BABA for you. It went straight up and now it's going straight down. So I think if it loses that 97, it's going down hard. Already did NVIDIA. NVIDIA was the first one I did. Okay. The first stock that I did SPY, QQQ, DIA, and IWM first. Then I did NVIDIA. Okay. So, coin. So, coin has been a something. It's been a something. All right. All right, coin. So coin is a hard one, right? Because obviously it's undervalued. We get that. We know it's undervalued. We see that this here area support is holding pretty well. It's at the 200 SMA. It's right below its long-term channel. I mean long-term trend line. Okay, it has earnings coming up next month. All right, it's in a downtrend from 300. Okay, went from 300 all the way down to 150. That's half off. Okay, that's half off. It's more than half off. It was at 350. Okay, it's at from 350 to 150. Okay, that's way more than half off. It's half off right now at 175, 172. That's half off of 350. Now, it's at good support, 150 area. The weekly stochastics and the daily stochastics, or the weekly stochastics here, are showing a turn and reversal. Okay. The monthly is showing a reversal, forming like this kind of, this here. Okay. The daily can't get over that 20 SMA. Okay. That daily can't get over the 20 SMA. You know, I like it. I do. I like it, but again, it's hard to say to go long in this market right now. But I like it. And if it hits 147 again, I think, you know, it's a good deal to buy long term, because it's more than half off. I mean, it's half off right now, and that's only from, you know, the 52-day week highs and lows. This was 350 at the end of last year. So in December of last year, it was 350. In January, it was 320, 310. So, you know, right now, April, you know, you get it near 150. It's a great deal. I mean, I don't think Coinbase is going anywhere. The chart looks good. Let's see here. Shorter term. Shorter term just going sideways. Oh yeah, shorter term just going sideways. I don't know what to say. I like it. I like it. I do. I like it long term. I like it. And I do think it's undervalued. And I like it. Um, I think, even if this is a head and shoulders pattern, it has a chance to go up to 230, 240. That's another $50 move from where it is now. So, do I like it? Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. So, I like it better over the 20 SMA. It gets over that 20 SMA. I like it a lot more. So above 179, I like it a lot. Okay, anywhere near 150 to 170, I love it. Okay, so again, this is opportunity time, guys. Stocks that you want, like this was a $300 stock, now it's 170. It was just 140 a week ago. It moved $30 in a week, right? And it's like, okay, we were buying it at 300, now it's half the price, and you don't want to buy it. I want to buy it, but can we go a little lower? Sure, we could probably come back down to 340, 350, maybe 360, 350, but I'd still be buying it there. I'm not gonna let a couple bucks get in between a long play that's really good. Okay, it looks good. I like it. Okay. Oh, why? All right. LLY. Let's clear all this out. Okay. All right. LLY. Eli Lilly. You know, this is a hard one because it needs to stay above 730. Okay, that 100 SMA. But I would like it above 165. And right now we're stuck in that little consolidation. But do I like it? I do like it still. At least to go until earnings, which is at the end of the month. I still like it. But again, all these pharmaceutical companies, they're going to be exposed to all these restrictions and tariffs that they're implementing or whatnot. So it's a big risk to even touch them right now. So, in that aspect, I wouldn't touch it. Does it look good? I mean, yeah, but it's very news sensitive right now. So since something could look good, but if it's news sensitive, then it's news sensitive. It's gonna react sensitively to the news. So whatever news comes out, it could destroy whatever the chart says. So it's news sensitive. So all these pharmaceutical companies are news sensitive right now. Just like the, you know, semiconductors were news sensitive about the whole um, getting tariffs added to them, which came out that they said that they weren't going to do that. It was nothing came out, and then news came out that they are, and then boom, they dropped hard because they're news sensitive. Did I know they were news sensitive at the time? No, but in general, this whole market is right now news sensitive. But they said in the next month they're going to roll out with some strict implementations on pharmaceuticals and tariffs. So, what does that tell you? Sometime this month or next, don't know exactly the date, but they're going to come out with some news. So, if it's news sensitive like that, it's just like, what? Why even dabble? Why even risk it? Especially with an expensive stock like Eli Lilly. So it's that an area that I like, and I think it holds as long as it holds at 730. I like it, but again, it's news sensitive. So that's what I got for you. I'm sorry. That's what I got for you. AMD. AMD. See, AMD news sensitive, right? Sensitive, dropped it, boom. And what did it do? Same thing that Nvidia and everyone else did. They put in a indecision candle telling you that tomorrow is going to tell you if it's going to go up or down. If it goes up, it comes back and gap fills at 94. If it goes down, we go back down to 80. 85.80. 85.80. Okay, RSI rejecting the 50 again. Right, well, didn't even get there, but coming back down. Okay, indecision candle needs to be higher than 90.50 tomorrow or lower than 85, and it gets direction. Anything in between that doesn't move. Do I think it's a time for a long term on here? Anything below 85, I think is a buy. If you get it at 75, even better. Because this used to be a $227 stock. It's not only half off. It's like what? It's like 70% off. 70-80% off. You know, you get it down here, it's even better. What's it? $74 is the extreme price that you should pay. I mean, the extreme price that you could get it at. That would be the best price. $74. You get anything near 75, that's going to be a great deal. Great deal. Okay, so if you ask me if it's a good long term play, if you're gonna get something like AMD, you would have to get leaps, and you get either leaps from a year from today, not January. Not saying I'll get January. Those aren't leaps now. Those are gonna be doing, you know, what we're in. That's what, only 6 more months, 7 more months. So a leap is either a year from today or 2 years from January. All right. All right. You guys got to put tickers in. Got to put tickers in. No names. Okay. Spotify. You know, you're lucky I know that the ticker. If not, I would have had to skip you. So names. I mean, no names. Tickers. Tickers only. Okay. Okay. Spotify. Spotify. Ba, 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 ba. All right, Spotify. Da, 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 da. Strangely, it looks like maybe. Oh, if it rejects here and it falls back down, then it's in a descending triangle pattern. If it could hold above the 20 SMA, which it's closed right on top of it right now, so that's at what, 562.50. So it's right on top of it. So if you could hold above that 20 SMA, um, you have a chance to break that 581 and then come back over here to 612 and then do this little W pattern here and then take it up to all-time highs right here. That's if that happens. If that could hold above that 20 SMA and push through 581, then these two are very, very in reach. This one for sure is in reach at a 615 to 620. So so this zone right here. If you clear 581, this is in reach for sure. Okay, for sure. Because you broke the downtrend and you're breaking out of a bull flag here above that 581. You're breaking out of a bull flag and target will be here. If not, you fall back down here and you consolidate like a little triangle. It's a descending triangle. So you're right on there. You're right on the edge. So above here, below here. Okay. Okay. Oh, what did I say last week about Netflix? What did I say last week about Netflix? I felt like I had a lot to say about Netflix last week. All right, I said Netflix, if we break 1,000 and we go to all-time highs, we're definitely going to be bearish on earnings on Thursday, right? Now, I said all this because we were reversing last week, right? We had the big reversal, and I said we continue that. We break 1,000. We go to 1060. 1060. Then we will drop down on earnings, and we'll double top. But I said if we drop, then there's a possibility that we could rally up. And if we stay around 1,000, then it is it's harder to decide. It's harder to decide. It's harder to decide. Now, why is it harder to decide? Well, it's harder to decide because number one, it's the first tech, which gives all the other techs, juice. Okay. Number two, it's the weekly candle. We're right here. This is the downtrend. Okay, we see that. We see that down, low, lower high, lower low. This here did not break that high of 999, right? 9987. So tomorrow we have earnings after the market. So if this doesn't break, or even if it does, honestly, it doesn't matter. But if it doesn't even come close and it doesn't break that 1,000, and it stays, then this has a possibility of dropping back into this downtrend channel and coming down and going down. Okay, so that is our issue there. So tomorrow we just kind of do this, and then afterwards we're down here. It's just hard. It's hard. So let's check out the option list. Let's see what they're pricing in. So tomorrow they're pricing in a $55 move. $55 move. Okay. $55 move. And most of the options are bullish. Okay. So the market is saying that we're going to be bullish on Netflix earnings. And you know what? Netflix did just announce that they're increasing revenues, right? They're increasing revenues. Let's see here. I think, yeah, here we go. Netflix is expected to post higher Q1 profits revenue amid focus on growth. Okay, so they're supposed to post a profit of 2.48 billion. All right, so they're supposed to post record profits. Okay, so that's already what they said. That's what they announced. Okay, they said that they're focused on growth and they're going to post profits. Now, if they're going to post record profits, why would they tell us that? Okay, why would they say that? Why would they say that? I don't know. I always get weary when companies come out before earnings and say we're gonna post strong numbers, or we have record growth, or this and that. It's always weary to me because when the earnings come out, they shit the bed. And I don't know if this is gonna happen with Netflix, but if you're coming out and saying you're going to post record numbers, you shouldn't just come out. You should just wait for the earnings. Nobody should come out and say they're going to post record profits or whatever. You're just going to wait for the earnings, because that already that gets people to want to jump in because they think it's going to post record numbers, and then maybe they post record numbers but they have some other issues, and they drop. Okay, because it happens all the time. Or they post record numbers and then China says we're not going to allow Netflix in our stuff anymore, and or whatnot. Another country says it, or there's a trade thing, whatnot. But that's the only thing. I saw that announcement a few days ago, and I was saying to myself, a day away or 2 days away from posting their earnings, why would they do that? It just doesn't make sense. So a lot of people think this is bullish, and it may well be, but because it's such a big deal in the space, and it's a first tech, I would just straddle the Qs instead of trying to play Netflix. I would try to straddle the Qs, and instead of trying to play Netflix, because I just don't have a good feeling about it. I mean, it looks good. It looks good, but it looks good. It does, but I just don't have a good feeling about it. So do what you want with that information, but that's my take on it. I'm not going to play it. I don't feel good about it. And, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it takes off and it rips and it saves the market and all tech just rallies up hard. And maybe today was a sign of, that. But if they're coming out saying things like that, and then their earnings of the next day, I just don't doesn't sit well with me. Does not sit well with me. Okay. FCX. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Um, okay, copper and gold. You know, it's in this giant box. It hit the lower end of the box, and now it's right back here in the middle of the box. And you know, it has this pattern of just consolidating here for a minute, you know, for a couple months. This one consolidated for a whole year, ran up, came back, and now we're back in that same consolidation pattern. So, you know, you're looking at an area of here. You're looking at a pretty big area of consolidation, and then you got three parts. You got the lower end, you got the middle, and you got the upper. So right now you got the lower end. So, you know, if you want to play, sure, you got earnings coming up on the 24th, so next week. Um, yeah, I mean, you're at the lower end of the thing. Yeah, you could go right here up in the middle, but you're gonna experience a lot of chop in this area. But you still could go sideways here, and then you're gonna probably end up going over here, and then chopping around. But yeah, it doesn't nothing looks like a major move or anything. Okay. All right. This one has been chopping around for a minute. Just going sideways. Going sideways. And it doesn't look like anything's changing. So unless it breaks 80, this thing is gonna stay in this chop area, and this thing could chop around for a while because it's already been chopping around for a while. So 75 is a resistance area. You get above that, you go 79. But it's not until you break 80 that this actually takes off. If it could break 80, you could go to 90. But until then, you're chopping around here. This is just a chop, chop, chop fest. So if you want to take the risk and go for it to try to go 90, you need to get some long term, like 6 months. Because right now it's just chopping around. Maybe it goes to 79, but it can't get past that 80. Can't get past that 80. Can't get past that 80. Walmart here. All right, let's get out of this mess here. Walmart. Okay. All right. Okay, Walmart. Walmart has this long consolidation right here. This long consolidation, and it's going to extend out to you. It's going to extend out to you right here, and you're going to get stuck in that consolidation for a little bit. So you try to go right through it, and you got rejected right where it got rejected here, and now you're going to come back inside this consolidation zone. So this consolidation zone is going to hold you in this area for a little while, at least a week, maybe even another week, but at least a week in here on the bottom to the top right there. And then if you can't get past 95.90, then this thing is coming down. Has really good volume here though, so if you could get past that 95, we could come visit those that gap fill 102 again. You can visit that 102 again. But if not, you're going to come back into this consolidation right where that 200 day is. Right here, this whole consolidation zone. Okay. Okay. Verizon. Okay, again, I think I said this last week. Verizon, it's consolidating. It's a dividend stock. That's what it does. It loves to do that. It loves to consolidate. It's consolidating. This one, if you got it, in the lower end of the 30s, or even over here when we first talked about it, in like the 36s, you got them in 39s. You're still doing well, but it's a dividend stock. It's a stock. It's not something you should trade as an option. It's a long-term hold stock because it just gives you dividends. That's what it's made to do. Dividends. Okay. It looks good. Long-term hold looks great. Looks great. It does. Don't get me wrong. It looks great. But there's a reason why I go sideways a lot is because it's a dividend stock. It sold off hard from 62 down to 30, cut in half. Okay. Every time a stock cuts in half, it's a good time to check on it to see if it's a good buy that you want. This one cut in half. Okay, now it's up here. It's still down a lot. It's still down. You could still get 50%, right? 50% of the stock, $20. You go back to 60. Sure, it's going to take a while, but it's going to pay you dividends on the way. So this is a buy and hold. Okay, this is not an options trading stock. This is a buy and hold retirement stock. Okay, this is a dividend stock. Okay, this is a stock you want to own a lot of if you want dividends to retire you. All right. Overall, it looks good, but it looks consolidating, like it's consolidating. Okay, so that is that's it. It looks great as a dividend stock. Does it look like an options play? No, it does not. It does not look like an options play at all. Sorry about that, but you want to buy and hold that stock. Okay, one more, and that's it. I'm out. Okay, do you, and that's it. All right. I don't know what this is here, but doesn't look like it does much. Okay. Okay, this stop. There you go. You got the top, 28. You got the bottom, 15, 50. Okay, you're near the bottom here. Okay, here's your mid level right here, 22, 65. Okay, you got a squeeze setting up, but it's on the downside. Okay, you need to get by this 20, 25 level, which is the 50 SMA, okay, to get back to that 2265. You need to get above 2265 to even get near the 28 and the highs. This is a lower end. You would be a buyer near 15 or 16 area. Okay, anywhere there, you know, you're gonna go back to the mid level probably. That's probably where you're gonna end up, probably in the 20s. Yeah, right there. 20 is 20 20 20 50 is the 200 SMA. You're probably gonna, you know, you got to get past that 20 SMA first. But it looks like this thing likes to hang out around at $20. So you could be long it, but not below 15. Yeah, there you go. Top. You got the top, the bottom, the middle, right there. All right, let's see here. Okay, let's do Bitcoin, and that's it. Bitcoin. So we're in this downward channel. We held that 200 SMA. We got out of the channel, but it's weak. It's weak. And this is what questions it. It's weak. So this could easily have a candle that goes straight back down like this. Okay. And so whenever it's out and it's weak like this, don't like it. It needs to break. It's above the 20 SMA, but it's barely holding on. Okay, so the RSI is right at 50. The squeeze is happening, but it's flat. So it's not positive, it's not negative, it's flat. So need to see more. Need to see more of this because this could easily go either way. All right. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next week.